All righty. So welcome, Income Navigator traders. It is Friday the 15th, 2023. We're just doing a little impromptu live trade session today, just to give you some thoughts on how I look at things, how I'm adding some trades here today, what trades I'm adding today, and why, so you get a sense of it. But one of the first things for me is when I'm looking at my buying power is light right now, and well, why wouldn't it be? Volatility's down, but my theta is light, and I'm going to change. Let's take a quick look at where we were yesterday. So I'm going to reshare this. So here's the trades from yesterday in the trade sheet. So as I go through here, I'm noticing, hey, your volatility is, or your volatility, your buying power is a little bit light. And I think right now I just threw on a trade, so it moved up, but it was under 50%. Now, it doesn't mean that, hey, you should run right out and go put some trades on, because that's probably not the smartest thing to do. Just because your buying power is light. Buying power is light because volatility is low, and it's tough to get some trades on right now and use it up. But you also know that when volatility is low, it's going to expand, and when it expands, it's going to affect our buying power significantly, most likely. So I don't want to go too crazy here and jack it up to like 70% or something today, and then we have a large sell-off in the next week or two. I still think we could go higher. I think we're overbought, but I think we could go higher. But anyway, looking at my buying power here, 56% at the end of the day yesterday, of which 10% of that was in bills. So $32,000 worth of buying power, or 10% of my total net lick is in BIL. So I subtract that off of this. So I just do 10%, so I know exactly where I am. So I subtract my 10%, and it puts me about 46, which means I have some availability to make some trades. Do you, again, want to have to use it? Again, be smart here. If we get a sell-off, your buying power is going to spike. However, what bothers me more than anything is that my theta is a bit low. Now, if you remember back, months ago, when theta was getting pretty low, it was getting into those low 20s here. So, I was struggling for a while to get out of the 20s back in July, when the markets were a little light on, and my buying power was low. You can see my buying power was 50%. My theta was only, I'm just getting down to like 25% theta use. For me, that's light. Now, in an IRA, you're not going to hit 0.4%, and maybe 0.2% is where you guys want to be. I don't think it's bad. 0.4 has always been my target, and I got that really from Tom Sosnoff and I speaking a lot years and years ago, and that's really what we came up with. Was he gave me some guidelines. I've really stuck with that. And I've been able to do it in a regular trading account. So I believe 0.4% is a good percentage. Is it a little riskier or higher risk? Yeah, in order to try to stay at 0.4%, you're probably seeing your buying power moving up. And you can see my buying power has been up in the 60s and 70s at times. But with BIL trades, 10% of that goes away. Well, for me, this is probably a little aggressive to be in these numbers, and it dropped down. It doesn't mean, fix it tomorrow, but I have room. So I want to get more theta on. I'm too low of theta. I really want to be over at $1,000 in theta. And even at $1,000 in theta, for me, that's only 0.3%. Okay, so I really almost have to be at what, if I want to be at 0.4% of $330,000 account, okay, I need to be at somewhere around, what, 1,300 in theta. So somewhere around 1,300 in theta puts me where I need to be. That's a goal. It doesn't mean you have to get there, but 0.28 for me is just too low. I don't have enough theta working right now. So I want to get my theta up. So anyway, I wanted to share this piece that, hey, if my theta is light and I have buying power, then today's a green light to start making some trades. Right. So what are we going to trade today? So let's go figure it out. And what are the things that I can trade? Right. So let's look at the actual account itself. And if I jump into my main trading account and I'm taking a look here at the main trading account on the day, what do I need? Is there, when I look at ES, it's my first thing is, do I have all of my long-term 112 trades on? So step one for me is, and I'm gonna take a note on this thing and give you, this is my thought process. But step one is there a long-term 112 trade on appropriately? Well, this thing has only been on for about a couple minutes. All right, but I was sitting at March 28th. When I look at the expirations, okay, there is a 126 coming up. The March 28th is 104. So this one is 100. Are we at exactly 120? No, but I'm going to put a trade on. The question, and some of you may ask, is, well, why aren't you waiting till 120? Well, here's the key: is my buying power is light, my willpower is low. I'm probably going to put a trade on today. And when's the 120 day? Well, it's 6 days from now. What's that, next Wednesday or so? It'll be at 120. Well, by next Wednesday, I don't know where my buying power is going to be. My buying power, we could start to sell off. Buying power could start to ramp up. I'm still probably going to put something on. But if I put too many other trades on right now, I won't have room for the long-term 112, and that's the core. Okay? You got to have that particular trade on, because that's the core of the trading plan and the strategy that I have. All right, so that's why the first thing I'm going to do when I have buying power is I'm going to check, okay, what's my trade plan? Okay, your trade plan says my number one strategy is I got to have 8 of these on at all times. Okay, I want to make sure I have it on. So I'm going to add one next week. Why not just add it today when my buying power is low, as opposed to trying to wait till next week? Okay. All right, James, we'll get this. Yeah, I'll cover Delta, and we'll cover some Q&A later. So I will absolutely get that question for you. Okay, so what am I doing here? I don't have a trade on at this April 19th, which is the next available. Now, normally it's the 15th of the month or so when you get these that are coming on, 19th, 17th. So the 19th is a little bit longer out, but I'm okay with 126 days. So what I just did a few minutes ago was I went in and put this long-term 112 on. So I went to my 25 delta, sold that, went 50 points lower. So I bought that, sold 50 points lower, went out to 5 delta, sold that, and put this trade on. So this whole trade is now on for me. And here's the sizing of it for me. And I got, at the time of the trade and when I put this thing on, it was, I don't know, I posted it already for you guys, but this was a $22.40 trade. So $22.40 roughly is what I got into this trade for, right? So it's on, it's working. I can see it now. It's in my positions down here. So this trade is ready to rock and roll. Okay, I got a long-term 112 trade on. Don't have to worry about anything right now. The market has dropped about 13 points since I put it on. I don't really care. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that. This is 126 days away. We'll worry about it later. Okay, there's nothing, I am not going to make any changes to what I do. However, you guys, if you haven't gotten in, you can get in now and get a better price than I did. All right, so that's going on. Also, just quickly looking at my portfolio, these 2 trades are dropping off. Now, they're not really using up any buying power. They're just put debit spreads. They're both coming off today. I've already gone in on the, I believe it's the standard 112, the long-term 112. I've already posted this for everybody that this is expiring today. How am I doing that? And I'm just going to run through my process. So whether you like this or not. Okay. I go through my open trades. I found that trade. I copied it. I pasted it into my closed trades here. Okay. I just add my date and I put my, I don't count this as a win or a loss. And I'll tell you why. All right. So when I put these trades on, I'm separating them now. Okay, I wasn't before, but all the new trades, including this new one that I just put on a few minutes ago, okay, I separate the put debit spread and the put debit spread here and the naked puts. I separate those into two trades. So I am tracking those separately. And I'm still counting this as one trade because I really don't want to uh, screw up my metrics too much. But technically, if I take these naked puts off, that's a win. And in the closed columns here, when I take off these naked puts for a win, okay, I count that as a win. When the put debit spread just expires, okay, I change that to an NA. I do not count that as a win or a loss. Okay, I've already taken one win on the trade, and the put debit spreads expiring to me isn't a second win. I don't know if that makes sense or if that's right or not, but I just don't want to count one long-term 112 trade as two different wins. Okay. The only time I will count that as two wins is if on this put debit spread, I'm able to close this for a winner. Okay. Then I'll add that as an extra win because I was able to roll something up maybe and cash in on some profit. Okay, then I can get an extra win out of one trade. I can technically get two winners. But if the put debit spread just expires, it's not a win for me. Anyway, so just so you know how I'm accounting for it. Otherwise, my stats would be so fantastic because I'd be counting the naked puts as a win and the put debit spread as a win. I'd have two wins for every trade. And to me, it would just screw up all of my tracking and not give me a realistic picture of how well I'm doing in it. Okay, great. You got 200 wins this year on 100 trades. How'd you do that? Okay. So some trades I can win twice on, but that's only if the put debit spread yields me a win. I hope this makes sense. This is how I'm tracking it and for my records. And I just put this trade on. Okay. And I do track them both separately now. Then I track the whole thing as one trade. It's in gray here. I don't know that you guys care about any of this that I'm giving you, but it's in gray here just so I can track what the original trade was in case I make some modifications. I want to know what the original trade was. Plus, this is what I copy, and I paste that into the alert. So this is set up so that I can paste it right into the alert for you guys. So I do a little extra work so that I can post the alerts. Okay. Hopefully that makes some sense on what I'm doing. All right, so now let's take a quick look at what else did I do here. And I talked about wanting to put on the next thing. So as I run down my trading plan, I have all of my long-term 112 trades on. Okay. So right now I've added that. If I was really reviewing my portfolio, I would start by going through all of my trades quickly here to see, is there anything I should be taking off as well? So let's do it quickly. Number one, 32% on this naked put on this 112. Nothing to do there. Here's a put. This is just the naked puts left. I've already closed the PDFs for a winner. So I have the naked puts on a CL 112 trade on. It's only at 31%, nothing to do. These naked puts are up 28%, nothing to do. Go here. I'm taking a look at this naked put here, nothing to do. It's sitting at 14% in 4 days. Great. And then here's a strangle that's up 21%. There's nothing to do here. So nothing to do. Ignore this trade for now. I'm going to get to that in a second. All right. I'm going to go down here. I got, a put debit spread here. It's nothing right now. Nothing to do. An FB trade. The naked puts are at 91%. I'm not going to do anything with those right now. All right, and this thing is fine, nothing to do there. Here's another FB trade. The naked puts are at 82% here, nothing to do. Another FB trade. This is tier 2 of this trade. So this trade is a 2-tiered trade. Okay, nothing to do here. Naked puts are at 69%, so nothing to do. Here's a 112 trade that I put on. Naked puts are at 74%, nothing to do. I don't even have to look at anything. Okay, and I can take a quick glance here. There's the put debit spreads down, so there's nothing to do here. I keep going. Okay, here's the 112. I've already closed the naked puts. Nothing to do here. This thing is, it's doing its thing. Nothing to do here. Here's a January 31, 112. Now the naked puts are 93%. It's not there. I can wait. Okay, I don't need the money today. Or I've already got the money. It's already in the net lick. What I don't have is I haven't booked it. I don't have realized income on it. All right, here's the hedge. Nothing to do on this hedge. Here it's a 60-day hedge. I'm not going to close this at all early unless we spike up to like 48, 4,900, 5,000 something. And I think we're never coming back. Then maybe I'll take a loss and get out. All right, here's another long-term 112. Naked puts are at 91%. You can see the put debit spread here is not ahead. This triangle is down. Nothing to do there. This is a BA 112 trade that I just put on yesterday. This is the one that we were talking about in yesterday's session. This is the one I put on yesterday. I forgot to post it because I'm getting a little overstretched here. But this is the one I put on yesterday. Nothing to do with this one. It's only 1 day old. This is the BA 112 trade. I think somebody asked me, hey, can you post what it looks like or something so that you can figure your trade out. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. It's not what it looked like before, but this is what it looked like. So what it looks like now if you're in this particular trade. So this is a BA 112. And the key to this trade here is, I'm going to copy it so I can paste it for you guys. The key for this trade is it's just a long, it's no thicker. Okay, it's still only 50 wide. It's just long. Okay, because my naked puts are way, way, way down here, giving me virtually no credit in the tail. Okay, it's just a hedge. So there's nothing to do here. Okay, I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to go to Discord. I'm going to go, you guys wanted that, you wanted to see it. So here's that BA 112. Somebody asked me what it looks like. I don't know if this helps or not, but there's what that trade looks like now. All right, so I just want to make sure I posted that. Let's go back, jump in, and we'll keep going through positions. So that was yesterday. All right, I got a February one here. There's nothing to do. We're at 80% on the naked puts. PDS is nothing. This one here, 66% in 32 days on the naked puts. Nothing on the PDS. Okay, so there's nothing working here. Let's go through the last two. So here's the March 28th, 112, nothing to do here. And here's the one I just put on just a few minutes ago. Nothing to do there, obviously. These two are falling off. Nothing to do there. Gold, I got a 112 trade on. Naked puts are down slightly. Nothing to do there. The PDS here, you can see that this is up now. So the PDS is up. What is that, about 400 bucks? Now, this is a 10 wide on gold. Gold's a 100, okay, 100 multiplier, but this is a 10 wide. In order for me to consider rolling, I won't roll till I at least have a 25% profit in here, which means on a 10 wide, I would need to close this for 200 and some bucks or more, or for $2.50 or more. I'm at 390, so you could do some rolling here to capture some of this trade. I don't know if I want to do it yet. It's doing decently here, and gold's pulling back a bit today. I think I'm just going to leave it. I don't want to book it, but one thing I could do would be I might be able to roll this up 50% of the width, which would mean rolling the 2000 to 2005. Okay, can I do that? Let's take a quick look. Let's get them in the same expiration. That means I would roll it this way. So I would, I'd buy back these three. I'd sell 3 new here for about $1.90 credit. Okay, that's not giving me enough. Okay, I'm not going to, I don't want to just make that. Okay, so yes, it's $1.90. and it's times 300 contracts. So it's going to make me $570, I think, to do this, right? So yeah, $570. It's going to cost me $17 to do it. I don't care, right? It's not bad. I think it could be done here, but I don't know. Now it's $2. If gold dips further, this is going to be worth a lot more. So this is just, you've got to make your decision. Yes, I can get, I could close it now for 25% or more, which means it is eligible to be shrunk here and roll the short puts up. I could do it for maybe $2. Okay. I could also just take some of this off instead of having 3 contracts. I could go to 2 or 1. I'm just going to leave it, and I'm going to risk losing the trap, which is right now about $500 worth of money. So, but I would not fault you if you guys wanted to close that or do something with it. Okay, and then what else we got? We got a strangle on gold. This is at 42%, 43%. I'm only 7% away on this one. There's nothing to do. It's 29 days in the trade. So I don't want to close until I've got at least 25% in, but because I'm already at 29 days, which is usually where I start to take things off, we're at 43%. There's nothing to do. I'm not going to close that early. I want the cash right now. And then I have another strangle here. This one's up 25% on gold. There's nothing to do here. This one's on for 21 days. Nothing to do here either. On it, 21 days in, I'm at 25%. You technically could, but 25% in 21 days or 50% in hopefully 30-ish days, I think I'm gonna hold in there for the 30%. So we'll see. Maybe it's a bad idea. We're gonna let it go. And then on this live cattle, we have a 112 trade here. It's down $35. That's it. So this thing is just sitting there doing nothing right now. We have a slight gain on the put debit spread part. And a little bit of a loss here, $35. There's nothing to do on that trade. And then with Bill, there's just nothing to do. So there's nothing to really close here. I did that fairly quickly. I wish I had done it quicker, but I did it fairly quickly. So I went through my positions. I had buying power. The first thing I look at is, can I add a long-term 112? So technically the first thing is, can you close? Okay. This is your daily routine. Number 1, can you close anything? I really couldn't. There was 2 items that had a chance of being closed, but I didn't close either one right here. I'm going to let them simmer a little bit as it is. Okay. But again, whatever your plan is, you can do whatever. And I'm going to let this go. Because I'm looking for as much income as I can, and I don't see any reason to not just let this thing go at least till Monday and then review things again on Monday, especially if we're getting a decent sell-off here when I think things are overextended, and I think the sell-off could continue into next week. So there's where a little bit of technical analysis comes in, is if I'm looking at next week and I'm looking at SPY, what's my thoughts for next week? Well, on the daily, we were way above the 3 ATR on the daily. So we were definitely overextended there. And RSI was well overbought, okay, here. So we were pretty overextended yesterday. We've pulled back today, as technically you would expect, right? You're overbought. You can stay overbought, okay? But the odds are that you drop a bit at least, okay? As opposed to going higher. We could certainly go higher. The market is irrational, but from a probability standpoint, if you get above the 3 ATR, you're coming back into it at some point, okay? And even when you got above it here, you did rise higher, but it did plateau a bit, okay, and move sideways until it was back inside. And then if I'm looking at the weekly here, it's almost to overbought territory. And it's a pretty interesting candle to not want, to think, well, we could get a little pullback. So that's my thoughts here is on ES, that we could get a little bit of a pullback, which means you could technically wait till next week to put your 112 trade on, but I'm fine here. And then on gold, okay, we had been moving up on it and then had a pretty good pullback week this week. But MACD has been rolling over now for 2 weeks with RSI slightly heading down. So overall, maybe gold got a little bit carried away and now it's pulling back a bit from where it is to this line. I think on this type of a candle and a reversal day here, why not wait till Monday? What's the odds, that we are going to rocket back up Monday? Well, I don't think they're any better than going down. You got a 50-50 chance, but PSAR here, the dots is heading down, which is bearish. So we're in a bearish PSAR signal here. Okay, we've been selling off today. And then RSI is starting to bend over a bit today, and we've been starting for 2 weeks now to trend downwards. Again, you get a 50-50 shot, so there's no reason for me to close here based upon anything that I'm seeing in the market. Doesn't make me panicky. All right, so let's go back. So number one, long-term 112s, per the trade plan, is my core strategy. Okay, the next thing I'll look at would be strangles. Can I put a strangle on? Okay, and I only have my trade plan. I'm bouncing back and forth. I hope this is okay for you guys. I'm bouncing back. So here's my trade plan. So number 2 here is strangles on futures. Okay, it's calling for 6 to have on at all times. Well, let's take a look. What do we got? We've only got 4 on. So putting a strangle on here would not be a bad thing. It would be good to potentially put a strangle on. All right, so number 1, I would be looking for a strangle. So what do I have on right now? I've got 2 gold, an oil, and an ES strangle. Well, ES has been on a bit of a tear, and I think it could go a little bit higher before we pull back. And volatility on ES is 3.7 for an IVR. That's pretty horrific. Not that that's ever stopped me before, but I just don't think putting on an ES strangle today is a great idea. Okay. Gold, I've already got 2, so that leaves me with oil or maybe some other underlyings to put a strangle on. Aussie dollar, maybe. We can look at the charts. The dollar's up today. US dollar's up, Aussie dollar's down. But the Aussie dollar, if we look at the chart, okay, Aussie dollar getting a bit extended. It's up to the 2 ATR. It's been on a pretty solid move higher. It's breaking above this trend line here. We're playing probabilities, so charts really don't matter. Aussie dollar would be one idea for a strangle. Another strangle to me would be potentially the euro, okay, which had been on a tear and is pulling back decently today. Okay, not bad. Are we in the middle of the Bollinger Band and 3 ATR on the weekly? Yeah, we kind of are, so that's not a bad strangle opportunity. Oil, we're at the bottom of the channel. I'd like to see a little bit more of a bounce in oil before I do something. But oil volatility is good. But I've already got 1 strangle. I could go to 2. We'll see. Oil's not a bad strangle opportunity. And I also think bonds, look at bonds. I mean, this does not scream strangle right now. This screams, can we go higher, or is this thing going to pull back significantly here? It's overbought. I'd like to not strangle something that is overbought or oversold, so I'll stay away from that. I could strangle lean hogs, or not lean hogs, but live cattle. It's not bad in here. It's kind of at the bottom of these bands, though, and just coming off these oversold areas. So I really don't like a lot of strangles right now. So I think I'm just going to chill on the strangle thing. But technically, for my plan, I really do need to get a strangle on here, but I'm not going to put one on today. I will wait till next week. I also have the 4 strangles. I know I'm bouncing back and forth. I hope this isn't a problem, but look at the 4 strangles I have on that are open. These are all February expirations, which means most likely they're going to all expire in January. All right, so I need to start to build up my March strangles in here. I'd like to get 2 strangles for March. I don't want to put any more on for February, but I'm good right now that I should be able to close probably 2 strangles in in January for sure, maybe 3, and I'm thinking that this one of these gold ones is probably going to come off this month. All right, so I should get paid on one. I'm going to need to get some strangles on. I'm just kind of sitting back, not doing anything. Hope that makes sense for why I'm doing what I'm doing. All right. But now let's look at 112 trades on. And that's what we look to do here. I really just love oil. And if you look at my capital that I'm using for my trades right now, look at the capital for oil and look at the capital for everything else. Okay. My capital that I'm using for oil trades is almost double what I'm doing in ES right now. I'm so excited about where oil is in here. And I still think oil finds a base somewhere in this upper 60s, 70 spot, and I'm long oil with a variety of trades here. So 112s, naked puts, that's all good. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to get another 112 on oil since I only have one on, which is doing just great. I want to put a second one on. So that's what I just did was oil. So this trade just got filled in oil. So what I would do here, and I'm going to walk you through it, and we're going to post it live, is I'm going to go into here, and this is how I typically will add trades so that you guys can follow. My last numbers was 0026, so I'm going to use 0027 as my next trade. It's oil 0027. I know you really don't care probably about this back end, but when did I put this oil trade on? This is a February 14th trade. Yeah, February 14th, not 24th. Okay. All right, so I got the trades on. My put debit spread is a buy to open, and my naked puts are a sell to open. I've been trying to do it the other way, so I'm changing my formatting a bit. But again, I'm going to track it separately. So let's go in here, and I'm going to buy to open. And you guys are guessing to see what trades I was doing. I did the 65.5, 64.5. What did you guys say out here? Who was betting on what my strikes were going to be? So yeah, 66, 65, 54. You got everything right except I did the half points. So that's what you guys were guessing. And that's perfect. So I want you guys to be able to figure out what my trade is before I do it. So I did the 65.5, the 64.4 as the PDS, and I got paid on that trade 22 cents, or it cost me 22 cents. And I put a minus in when I have to pay. All right, I did 3 of those. Okay, so I did 3 of these PDSs. So this is the PDS, and the margin that I used for that, it gave me 1,098 margin relief. Okay, so I got a margin credit because I bought and I got relief on BP. All right, the next one was, this is the naked put. The naked puts I sold were these 54. Yeah. So I sold the 54, which makes this whole trade, and this is how you can see sometimes when I screw up the alert, it's because I don't take every step here and I go too quickly. All right, so on the 54, I got paid 35 cents to open that one. It also cost me, and I did 6 contracts of this, so it was a 336, and the margin on this was 14,118. Okay, so overall margin on this trade was $13,000 is what I used for this trade. I like to get at least $1,000 in credit. So That's what I'm looking for here now. I've moved up all of my 112s. My goal is $1,000 in the tail, then my $1,000 credit or so. I went 1440 on this one. It's all good. So this is essentially a 48 cent. No, it's not a 48 cent trade. It is it's 48 cents. Okay, what is it? 0.35. Yeah, no, 48 cents is correct. All right, 48 cents on this 1,000 multiplier. That's where we are. So this is how that trade is logged into my spreadsheet, just so you guys know. And then I would take this piece here. I will go into Discord. I will go up to my trades. I will post it in here. This is all the stuff I got to go through. It's just so you wonder why it takes me forever. Okay, if I didn't have to do the alert, life would be pretty good. Okay, and this is how I can easily make mistakes. So I'm going to post that, remove that. This was 0027 as the trade number. Okay, so this is sold to open the February 14th, 65.5, 64.5, 54 for 48 cent credit. And then because you guys need the DTE, you also know that if you just say, Siri, how many days from today is February 14th, it will also tell you the exact number. But I'm giving it to you. So it's a new CL 112 at 61 DTE. Post it. Oops. And then I will edit the tag. So this is an open trade. So you guys can search by opens. And then you can also search by the fact it's a 112. Okay. So you can see that the tags are, it's an open trade still versus a closed trade. So what's closed, what's open, you can search for just open trades if you want. So if you know like one of the strikes or something, you can do it. If not, you know what my trade number is. All right, and somebody's already on my ass. You guys are killing me. You can see how I can make mistakes. And I'm trying to do a training while I'm doing it. All right, so there you go. I don't need 6 people to tell me that. All right. I will delete your messages. Okay, because I fixed it. So, all right. So yes, you guys caught it. So yes, I can make mistakes. I'm hand typing all of this info so you can have it. All right, so that gives you a sense of exactly what I traded there. And many of you, yes, I have hundreds of orders. You're not kidding. How fast did I just get jumped on for 6 instead of 61? Pretty fast. So anyway, it's all good. It's part of the reason I like doing this stuff is I like the fact that you guys are catching stuff for me and you question me. Sometimes it's okay to say, dude, why the heck did you do that? That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Okay. It's okay. I don't mind you questioning my trade. Okay. If you've got trade ideas, post them in member trades or create a forum or something for it. I love to see new stuff and you guys come up with cool stuff. I mean, I didn't just develop this stuff 30 years ago. You learn from other people. Anyway, let's go ahead and, all right, I'm just doing this for you guys, but I'll typically go in here. I will copy the exact trade that I have, and I can go here. I don't know why. Okay. And I'll do this for you as well, because some of you need the visual representation of what the trade is so that you can see what the heck I'm doing. And there it is. That's how it worked. Okay, and I will paste that into the alert. So there you go. So now you got, hopefully I got everything right. That's cutting and pasting, copying and pasting. I'm using this sheet to help create alerts as well as track my own trades. So there it is. So now I do have 2 oil 112s plus the remaining naked puts of a 112. So I got a lot of oil on. PJ got 2 oil 112s on already, thinking about another based upon what I'm saying. Okay, so a couple things. Normally I wouldn't do more than 2 in my plan, but if you have the BP, do you think it's a big deal? Mark, you got something wrong. It's not 58, by the way, unless I typed something wrong. It's 54, Mark, did I type 58? No, I typed 54. Okay. All right, so now I got to audit your stuff as well as mine. Come on, Mark. All right, so can you add a third 112? Well, this would be my reasoning. Number one, if you're going to add a third 112 trade, PJ, is it going to overlap a current trade that you have or be doggone close? So if you're going to add, let's say you want to add the trade I just added. I don't even know what screen I'm sharing right now, but let's say you want to add this trade that I just put on here, right? You got to make sure that you don't have another trade with similar strikes at the same expiration. That's all I'm saying to you. Okay. And I'm going to group my trade and I name them February 14th, 112. All right. So what I would want to see is, okay, here's a January 112. All right. So that's 30 days difference. So that's fine. Okay. And then this is like a 58 naked put, 54. It's different enough in oil terms to have this trades on. Now, if I had a trade that was only 7 days old that had the same February strikes, and even though it might be 56, 67, 68, that might be too close for comfort for me. Okay. So if it's too close, don't, because all you're doing is doubling your risk. You might as well just double the amount of money you have in one trade, right? So that's the only thing I would warn you about. So yeah, if it's too close, just pass. There's other stuff to do trades on. All right, so there's the CL112, and I posted it in the system. Anyway, so that's it. And if I take a quick look at this account, we're up a bit today. This BP usage is never right. Oh, good. I just dropped it by 7%. So, I don't know why you have to frequently update your buying power all day long, but you do. So buying power now, 62%. 62% minus the 10% in bill that I have is 52%. I'm pretty good. I don't think I need to add anything more. My theta is 992, which is up, I think it's fractionally over what I was doing, what I had. Okay, does anybody remember what it was last night? Nobody here would remember that. My last night it was 923. All right, so my buying power is up. So it's gone from 923 to 991. Okay, which now is closer to 30% or 0.3% versus 0.2 something. All right, I'm getting closer and I'm good. I really don't want to add any more trades to what I've got on right now. So hopefully this made sense. This is how I figured it out. All right, so let's take a look at the small account. All right, so here's our small account that we have. We've got plenty of buying power in the small account right now. This is totally under traded completely. And sometimes I don't spend as much time in here as I should. Because the big account and all the questions I get sometimes takes away from my actual trading here. Yeah, I said I would say sell some naked puts, but based upon the fact I just got my buying power up to about 52%, and I think I'm just going to hang until next week, until some stuff drops off. But I do want to add some more, but I think I'm going to hold here, Mark. based on that last trade. All right, so small account trade. Let's look at the small account, see how this thing is looking for us. Do we have to make any adjustments here? So first, we'll start with this trade that's expiring today. Okay, so this is a put debit spread that's going to come off today. It's not really going to free up any buying power. It's just a put debit spread. Okay, if I went back to my trade tracker for the small account, okay, that would be this trade here. It's going to come down here. I'm not going to count it as a win or a loss, as I already mentioned, because it's just, I'm not going to count 2 wins on one trade. Okay, so this trade's coming off. What would I do here is we got to find it. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to see if I can search for this trade. I'm going to look for small account. There it is right here. Okay, so this is my small account trade that I originally put on for $25.50. Okay, so yep, we put it on for $25.50. I closed the naked puts for $1.35 already. So I've already taken those off. Okay, and I'm sure if I scroll through here, see there, I closed the naked puts. Okay, and this expired. PDS expired today. Okay, nothing to do. Boom, updated that. I'll go in here. I will change my tag to closed. And now that one's done. Okay, so nothing else to do with that. So I cleaned it up off of my tracking sheet. It's gone. I got some room, but stupid MES doesn't give me all the strikes I need. So let's go, because we don't have enough trades on in this account whatsoever. So let's take a look here. What do we got left? We have a December 29th trade. What do we see here? Anybody tell me on this? Should I do anything with this December 29th FB trade? I got an FB trade on in here. That's cool. I didn't even know that I had that, but I do. December 29th FB trade. Should I do anything with this trade? Yes or no? Type it in chat. Yeah, close the naked puts. All right, so I can close the naked puts on this thing. The PDS here is losing, which is what PDSs do. All right, I can take this off. So let's close this. Let's get out. Let's try to get 35 cents. We'll put an order in and we'll let that thing work. All right, so we've got that trade working right now. We'll probably have to move it because MES sucks. All right, so that one we've taken a look at. We pulled the naked puts off. Great. All right, we got a standard 112 trade here for December 29th. All right, so here's a standard 112 trade for 29th. I've already closed the naked puts, so this is just the PDS. Got 14 days to go. It's not making any money, nothing to do there. Okay, now I have another long-term 112 trade here for January 19th. Okay, I've already taken off the naked puts. This is just a PDS. It's got a slight loss, nothing to do there. Okay, January 31. All right, guys, let's not get carried away in chat here. We have a mixed audience. All right, so January 31. Anything, should I do anything here? What do you guys see that could be done on January 31st on this 112 trade? Anything? I'm letting you type. What do you think I should do on January 31st? Anything? Anybody? Do nothing. Yes, do nothing. There's nothing to do. Okay, there's nothing to do here. The naked puts are only at 53. There's nothing to do. And the PDS here is losing. So I can't really roll them because it's not even a winning trade yet. All right, so nothing to do there. So I just want you to get a sense of that. Looking at February here, the naked puts are at 91%. Nothing to do there yet. The PDS here is losing. Okay, nothing to do. Okay, March 15th. Okay, there's nothing to do here on this March 15th one. And then I also have another March 15th because MES didn't give me a March 31st. Okay, I don't have a March 31st. I don't have 120 days at March 31 for whatever reason. Okay, this is why MES is just a difficult thing. So instead of that, I had to put on two March 15th trades. Now you can see one's 32 days and one's only 10 days old. Okay, they didn't give me an expiration for March 31st. Now I have this April 19th here at 126. So we could do this one because we have a boatload of buying power in this account. So we have a ton of buying power in this account. So I think we could certainly put on a trade here. So normally we're also trading, 2 PDS and 4 in this account. So I'm going to trade 2 of these. We'll go to 24. We'll go 50 wide, 760. It's less than 8. Beautiful to me. Okay. And we're going to put this trade on, maybe. And then we're going to go down here to the 5 delta. I'm getting at least 15 bucks, which is about what I always want. I want to get roughly 15 bucks. 5 delta just happens to be giving me what I want. Okay, I'm going to try to get 15.25. Okay, good luck on that, but we're going to try. Okay, so that trade is now working. Who knows if that thing's going to fill? Okay, this account is a $14,000 account, by the way. Okay, almost 15. Okay, so it's about a $15,000 account. In fact, 15,092. Right, so when I look at this particular account, here's the tracking sheet for it. And as of last night, okay, this was 15,092. Right, so that's what. And if I look at so far this year, I've made $4,328 in this account in realized. So 43.28. Okay, and it's at 1592. I started the year right around 11,000 because I started this last November at 10. Okay, so we're up 50% in 1 year. That's not too shabby, right? So for a small account, so it can be done. It can be done without doing crazy buying power things. It can be done without crazy theta. Okay, I've just made nice little, and I took a stupid loss on a strangle as well. So it's still up nicely on the year, over $4,000 in buying power. So this thing is up over 40% this year in this small account. Okay, so there's that account. And if we take a look here, I already took this thing off to expire. And I'm trying now to get filled on a long-term 112 trade. I'll save this space here to hopefully get filled, and we'll add that in, right? And then we looked and we had a FB 112. There was nothing to do. We had another 112 that I've closed the naked puts on, nothing to do there. And then I'm just sitting on another 112 trade here. Okay, that nothing has been done on. Who's in the waiting room? I don't know. We'll let them in. Hopefully they're with us. All right, so this is the small account. I still need more trades. Right? I don't have enough on trades. This account's a little neglected. I'm trying to get filled down in here. 775. Okay, let's try 770. I might have to walk it up a tad. 775. I'm leaving it. I'm not chasing anymore. All right, so 775 here, then this one. All right, I'll give you 15, but I'm not going lower. Got part of it. All right, so this is the 112 saga, is you got to put them on in 2 separate trades. You get filled on one, you can't get filled on the other, and then eventually you got to feel like you got to chase, otherwise you're going to have a half a trade. It's 126 days out. If I'm 126 days out, if I don't get filled on this PDS, I'll go up to $8. So I'm pretty sure I'll get filled. As long as I get 8 and 15. 8 and 15 gives me 22, right? 15 times 2 for the 2 naked puts is 30. 8 is 8 from 30. is 22. If I'm getting $22, that gives me usually what I'm looking for in any long-term 112 trade. All right, so I'll go up to 8 if I need to here, but let's see if they come to me on this particular trade. Now, my buying power still pretty low in this account. Okay, I'm just showing you guys these 3 accounts. Okay, my buying power is pretty low. I can add more stuff. What would you add? So we could also put on kind of a standard 112 here at 60 days. We did have 2 112 trades on. So one's at January 31, and the other one's here at December. This one's already got the naked puts off, so I don't really count this as anything. This trade is already on. It's at 47 days, been in for 14 days. Should I put on another one? Do we put them on at a market high? Can the market go higher? I think we could take a look at it. So let's look to potentially at 63 days, which is February 14th. Let's try to put on a standard 112 as well. Let's see if it can be done. Okay, get about $8 for the PDS. I'm fine with that. And when I'm putting these on size-wise, I'll still do the 224. So let's put this one on. And then we'll go down here. And we're going to pick somewhere around this 41A. I'm not saying you're not going to get as much now on the 112. A long-term 112, I'm getting $22 for. These I'm going to get closer to $10. Okay. So I'm going to get around $10 on average for a standard 112. You might be able to get more at times, but I think you're going to get about $10. So let's try this 930. We're going to put it in and we're going to see what happens. Okay. All right. So we've also got, we've got this one working down here. I'm still working on this PDS down here. We've already got the naked puts running. Okay. And now up here, I'm working on this trade right now. So let's take this down just a fraction and we'll see what happens. All right. So that's it. I'm not going to do anything else. That's going to give me not only the long-term 112s, and if you look at the trade, and I'm going to have to get running here in a moment, but if you look at at what's going on here, typically the long-term 112s, if I'm taking off, one per month, I'm making 200, remember we're putting them on around $22, $23. If volatility is higher, I get 25. Okay, I'm making 228, 213 each time. So each month I make like $400. $400 a month on now it's a $15,000 account is 2.7%. Okay, so just having the long-term 112s alone on these, okay, is doing pretty good. But I will also add some other things in, like some strangles and a few other things to try to juice it up. And I did lose a strangle here, but for the most part, I've had some strangle winners. It gives me something to do, or something extra. And right now I'm just doing the 112s plus the long-term 112s, which are generating me somewhere in the neighborhood of, this is not, that's correct. Oh yeah, that's just fine. Somewhere in the neighborhood of $200 or so. Right, so somewhere in the neighborhood of $200 in the tail every single time. That's really what I need to get on these 112s is $200. If I can get $200 each time, I think this one's a little light that we put on a couple weeks ago, but for the most part, they've been in pretty good shape. And then the one from today, I just got filled on something. So let's see. Well, we got filled on the PDS of the 112, but not the naked put yet. Let's see. Yep. All right, we'll work this a little bit more. Let's go 915, see what happens. Okay, still not getting filled yet on this naked put, and here we have not gotten filled on the PDS. I really want to just get it done. Yeah, I went to 780 and I'm done. All right, so This one is now full. I now have an April 112 on. I will group it. I will do the April 19 long-term 112. Bam. This thing is set to go. Now I have to go and update everything in the spreadsheet. And then once I do the spreadsheet, I will go into alerts. I'll post it in alerts for you. And then up here, we got $8. I'd like to get 9. Market's being a little wishy-washy here. I'm gonna go to $9, but I'm gonna go there slowly. All right, so we're gonna wrap up, but let's see real quick. Hey Tom, on your long-term 112 that you put on today, if we get some selling pressure on Monday and next week, selling the 100 to 300 points is not selling pressure. That's a pretty good move. What would I do? I would do absolutely nothing. Okay, there's nothing to do. And yeah, Hugh, I'm going to follow my trade plan. What's my trade plan say that I would do? Let's say the market goes down 300 points next week. Okay, fine. As long as I'm looking at my trade plan and what's it say to do? Well, the put debit spread, there's nothing going to be wrong with that. And it's probably not going to be registering much of anything on 300-point drop, maybe a little bit positive. My naked puts are going to be under pressure. Volatility is probably going to go up. Naked puts are probably going to lose value, or the size is going to increase, which means I'm going to take a loss. As long as I'm under my loss threshold, I'm not doing anything. If I exceed a 2x loss or 2% on the total trade, I'm going to probably, if I hit 2% loss on the whole trade, I'm going to close. Okay, 2% of my whole trade, or whichever smaller, 2%, a 2x loss on the naked puts. I don't even think I would have a 2x loss on the naked puts at that point. But that's what I'm going to do, is I'm simply just going to follow the trade plan. And what's the trade plan say? Okay, it says here, how do you manage your naked puts? Okay, losses. Okay, I would close the whole trade at a 1x max trap profit if it's less than 2% of net lick. And so if I'm at a 1x trap profit, and I might close the whole trade. If that doesn't happen on a 300-point sell-off, I'm not doing anything. I could close the naked puts at a 2x loss or a 2% of net lick, whichever is smaller. I don't know that that's going to happen. If it does, I would just close the naked puts. Or I could just wait it out and take assignment. If we drop 300 points next week, I would have to take into account what's going on in the market. And does it make sense to hold and potentially take assignment because we might bounce? Or am I just going to get out of the whole thing? Or am I just going to close the naked puts and I'm going to let the rest of the trade percolate along? All right, so there's pretty much the thought process on what to do here today. So you got to see me going through a couple different accounts on the session. I want to get filled on this thing. It's really starting to irritate me. I don't really want to go below $9. I got it. All right. So there you go. So a 112 trade here got filled. So this is the February 16th standard 112. So I got 2 trades on here. So this trade just got put on just now, and for $10. All right, so it's fine. It gives me a good chance to make some money on it. It's a $100 trade, and if you take a look at this particular trade in the small account, that's what it looks like. Okay, so we've used, we'll make $100 in the tail. This is the MES, by the way, $100 in the tail, 600 in the trap. That's what this thing looks like. And then when we put this particular trade on, okay, we used $975 in buying power. So we're making $100 on 975, which is 10%. We're making 10% on this in 126 days or whatever. I don't know if I don't think I grabbed the right trade, maybe. I did not. February 16th is the one I'm trying to grab. Sorry. Trying to find it. February 16th. Here we go. Okay. I grabbed the wrong trade before anyway. All right, so yeah, we are making $100 on this one. This is I just grabbed the wrong trade. It's the February 16th one, which is this one. All right, so I used up 14.19 in buying power. So I'm making $100 on 14.19, which is 7%. I'm making 7% in 63 days. That's more than 3% a month, right? 7% in 63 days is 3.5% a month. All right, I'm in good shape here on this particular trade. So I'm happy with this setup. Should make me some decent cash on it. I don't even think this is right anymore. So there you go. I'm in good shape. I'm fine. The only other thing I would do, and I don't have time because I really got to fly here, is if I was in the IRA account, I would be looking at what's going on in the IRA. Same thing. What can I close? What can I open? What's working? What's not? You know, right now I've got a strangle in the IRA. Do I have anything to close? Well, not this December 15th that's expiring today. Okay, this is just a PDS. There's nothing to do there. Long-term 112, just a PDS, nothing to do there. Long-term 112 here, 92%, nothing to do there. Long-term 112, 80%, nothing to do here. Another long-term February, nothing to do there. I got a March 15th, a March 28th. We have buying power available in the IRA. So technically, what should we do in an IRA at this point in time? We should be looking to add yet another long-term 112 in the IRA. And when I do the IRA, once again, it's a 224. So here's 785. Change this to the IRA. That was easy. 3,900. Let's try for 1525 and see. Okay, didn't get filled at 1525. Let's just do it to be done. Boom, done. And there you go. So now I got a ton of stuff I got to go update. So I probably won't even see anybody the rest of today. Okay, here is a new long-term 112 for April 19th. Boom, group it. And there you go. New long-term 112 in the IRA. So everything's got new trades on. Everything's been gone through. I'm done for the day. And I can now just go chill out. And now I just got to go spend like an hour trying to put these in alerts. Okay. Hope that makes sense for you guys. I'll update these as we go. And you can see what we're doing. All right. You guys have a great rest of your day. I got to fly. We'll upload this. You guys can watch it later. But a little inside the crazy mind of me as I review my accounts. I mean, I took an hour to explain it, but technically you guys can do this in 15 minutes a day. All right. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy yourselves this weekend. Stay safe, and we will catch you in Discord. Take care. Bye-bye.